Hey, today I'm going to be reviewing the Sonics vs. Xset game, and just to set the stage, as I always do, this is in the NA League. As you can see, Sonics had a really rough season so far. They really wanted this game to Xset to bounce back, and at the time, I believe Xset only had one win, if they had any wins at all. So Xset was seen as maybe a team that they could get their first win against. Xset, on the other hand, was really looking to prove themselves, because I can see they're fifth now, but they were much lower on the table at the time. And they really needed this game to get up on the board for them to be able to compete for top 4, which, if you're not in the loop of that, top 4 is the top 4 teams go to every major. So if you're not top 4, you're not going to majors. Majors are like what everyone tunes into. They're like a really big deal, and they're how the players make a lot of their money. So, anyways, this game put X at 5, and in my opinion, they could definitely move up, because I'm not trying to hate on Beast Coast. I think Beast Coast is a fine team, but I don't think they're going to be a top 4 team. So I think kind of top 4, you could argue, is a little up for grabs, especially considering they're only 1 point behind. Darkseer is way lower than they should be because of the 3-way tie, and Darkseer is a better team than 7th, so they could also move up. So it's not like it's free for Xset, but I think one of these teams, Xset, Parabellum, TSM Dark Zero, will be moving up and taking Beast Coast spots, and now Xset have put themselves on the forefront of the team that could take that spot, potentially, from this game. So, let's get into how they did that, and how Sonics continued their struggle and their horrid season. And keep in mind, guys, Sonics, if you're a new fan, Sonics is not a terrible team. This is gonna crap the bed every chance they get. Sonics, they won NA last year. They made a great SI run. Sonics are not a bad team. They've been struggling in the current NA stage. And honestly, I don't understand why. On Chalet, I think they kind of rushed a bit and played some aggressive attacking strats that maybe they didn't have to play. But that was the game against Parabellum. But, like, I don't know. I think this game will really prove, because what's wrong, because they really got smacked on this game on an Oregon defense. Now, one thing that I'd like to point out is that the bans, funky bans. So Thatcher, Ying, standard, I guess. Ying's really nice on Oregon. Thatcher's, Thatcher. But anyways, the really funky bans are the Wamai and Jaeger that are being banned out, and because these are the 2 ops that are going to stop nades, so then the attackers respond to these bans by bringing 6 nades to start out with, and the 2 ops that don't have nades have flashbangs. I guess flashbangs don't matter that much without your 2 denial ops up, but still a heavily nade based team composition. And also 2 gun 6s, so that they can hopefully get at least some of the util without having to expend nades, so that the nades could hopefully be used for kills. I'm just going to skip the first part, because the first part of any Oregon defense is kind of boring. I like Oregon basement more than most people do, by the way. I just think the, first minute of the round, Oregon basement. Not the most exciting minute of siege, because everyone just drones the map and open hatches. A team can't be good or bad at that. Not really skill based. Kind of boring. Maybe they could change the site to fix that, but I don't know. I don't know how they would do that. Sorry, that's what I was going to say. So 2 people on pillar trying to watch the backstairs position. And also, one thing I'd like to point out is normally you'd play Shaiko in this situation, which is the place in between blue and pillar. But presumably, because of the bans, okay, this is Shaiko where he's right now, but this position is very nadeable. Oh, he gets shot from E-box hacks. Never mind. No shot from him. But anyways, that position is very nadeable from outside blue. So because of the bans, I'd assume that would be why. Also, we see Aruni is the only denial up, so I assume we're going to be seeing a lot of Aruni throughout this game. Honestly, though, I see why I think these bans really go in Xset's favor, because Xset is thought to be a more LatAm, a more weird team than SQ, where bands that favor an aggressive playstyle would favor them. So these bands make even in Oregon, in my opinion, attacker favored. I think SQ wants the game to be defensive favored, so I don't know why they're going into these bans like this. Why they would ban Jaeger is what I'm saying. But regardless of that, moving on to this take, this is actually still very heavily in SQ's favor because this, it doesn't appear like that, but there are quite a few crossfires on the walk down the staircase because you can get peek from E-Box, Pillar, or these little holes that Mira's peeking right now. But Mira dies and trades her life, and no one's. Yeti decides not to swing. I think Yeti probably should have swung to refrag, but he might not have been in that position the whole time. So it could just be a little unfortunate. But now in Xsets in a much better position, and for some reason Sonics don't have a freezer, unless this guy's in freezer, not long haul. But I believe he's in long haul. Yeah, they go 1 for 1. And I think a bit of a positional mistake there for Sonics is, in my opinion, especially if they're doing this kind of take, you should always have a place, someone playing freezer, because as you're going to see, he plants, Kino's going to plant right there. He's visible from freezer. If you have someone playing freezer, no one on Xset, maybe the pillar guy was watching it, but I didn't see anyone watching freezer. And if he's watching freezer, he's not watching laundry, to where you could just swing him from laundry. But they don't play freezer, they can just watch laundry, they can watch the run up, and they get the round. Good round by Xset, but in my opinion, kind of some mistakes made by Sonics in that round, with just letting them get pillar control without peeking them, and then kind of just running at them when they had pillar control. Okay, Sonics talk to the same site, which is a good site. They bring a Warden this time there. Warden's pretty good on this site, but I will say one thing. They banned out the Ying, so I don't know how influential the Warden would be because of that ban. I don't know exactly what they have planned, but normally you want Warden on this site because people like to Ying the E-Box hatch and then drop into E-Box, and Warden will prevent that from pillar. But Ying's banned, so we'll see what exact play that they will be going for, I guess. Okay, so Xset already applying pressure under freezer, only 40 seconds into the round. Xset, yeah. Gomez, very aggressive position. Yeah, he's just going to back off, put a drone on that. That's nice for them. And Sonics just hate playing in freezer. Actually, the reason for this actually makes sense, is when there's not really anywhere to play in freezer. Understand their reasoning now, because Jaeger, Wallmeyer banned. I'm not used to looking at games from this perspective where, you know, you can't play any power position. You try to play behind the locker, you get naded. So you gotta play way back here. You want to play Charlie, you get naded. You want to play Cubby, you get naded. So you gotta play in these really awkward in-between positions, and I feel like Sonics are not a team that would be very good at that, and as we've seen here, they're struggling with that a bit. And I don't know why they would want to play this game. Like, why they feel confident banning Jaeger in the way they did. Presumably their game plan would have revolved around playing Wamai and then Xset. Actually, let's do this. No, Xset banned Wamai before Sonics banned Jaeger. Okay, so I just have no idea what Sonics are doing then. This is like the ideal situation for them. They chose for this to happen. Okay, so some pressure applied to backstairs. This is just going to be a pretty default back take. Xset doing the same thing. Also, one thing I'd like to point out is that Xset aren't playing very weird. They're playing very default. I expected a Bodega-headed team to play a little more weird than Xset has been playing up until this point. But I have to say I'm happily surprised. Like, they're not just rushing. You see they're using utility. They're pushing late into the round. Which is Personally, that's the siege that I find fun, rather than just running into sight. Maybe we win, maybe we lose, Which has been, like, not all LATAM and APAC teams have played like that. I'm not trying to stereotype, but some of them have. And I don't like seeing that playstyle. Anyways, moving on. Kino gets a double kill. Where is Kino, by the way? Is he holding from Pill? Yeah, so Kino... Oh, wait. Kino's the bomb planner. He's the one up here in E-Box. Or, sorry, that pushed up into sight from E-Box. So 2 people just swung him. That's really nice as the bomb planner. And then Yogg is able to push up Deep Freezer. And also, I'd like to point out that Yogg's on a nade op. He didn't have to expend either nade since he droned it, but he probably could have scared anyone off lockers with the nade because there's no Jaeger, no Wamai. Grixer already expended his C4, and now Sonics are in a really bad position because they have no C4s and no smoke canisters, and they cannot stop a plant because Xset have freezer control, so Xset can just walk up and plant default behind the bomb, and there's nothing that SQ can do besides pushing up into Xset's crossfires. Nice kill by Yogg to make the situation look even worse. Super gets a kill. Okay. Good retake by Yeti, and you see how he pushes up with Super. Super clearly called that so that they could double swing that player. Nice play by them, and now they have the favorable positioning and put Yaga in a situation to clutch, but Yaga is still in his position in Freezer, and this is another reason why it's so nice to take Freezer when you do this take, because the Freezer post-plant position is a great position. It's even stronger if you have someone Pillar, because as they try to push up long haul, if they swing the Freezer player, the Pillar player can swing and you can kill him. But obviously this was a bit of a scuffed post-plant, but either way, Xset thrive in that scuffness. I actually think that, so Xset played much better than SQ in this round, and even though it technically was a 1v2 clutch, they had the favorable positions in the 1v2 clutch to where obviously you don't want to ever clutch a 1v2 like that, but I think they just played a nice round which set them up in that situation. But also I will say this, that Oregon is very heavily like burn favorite, I would say, and really relies around the meta game of burning and frag nades around the shield, particularly the one in elbow that we saw Super playing. I don't know why the Xset decided just to ignore that, but even if they didn't, the side is heavily reliant on that. And shields like that, and in positions where you'd want to play that are powerful, like the Lockers position, like the Chala position, like the Cubby position, and they can just play none of those. Which Xset is clearly taking advantage of and thriving in this situation. I don't know if Xset has scrim like this, or they're just playing how they normally play and it works better like this. It appears they're just playing how they normally play, and you know, everything's just easier when you don't have to worry about Jaeger. There's a reason he has a insane pick rate. So SQ don't like their downstairs hold. They decide to flex onto an upstairs hold. And so I don't know exactly what SQ is going for with this lineup, but obviously a very odd lineup, which any lineup would kind of have to be without Jaeger or Mai. Mute Mozzie, so they're probably doing something in kitchen. Yeah, Yeti's below in security, Rexon's below in kitchen. But they only have 2 roamers. Oh no, my bad. No, they have a strong room setup. Supers and showers, I didn't see that. So SQ are trying to play their below setup. Also, one thing I would just maybe considering is that Valk is not banned, so SQ could play Valk if they wanted to. They elect not to. And I'm just saying that because I think Valk is a strong operator when you're going for some kind of below setup. Oh, okay. The double swing on trophy. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to the game. I'm seeing what could happen, not what it is. Sorry, because you can see 4 through the 4. But anyways, what is happening is SQ have the idea that they're just going to play insanely aggressive on where Xset is taking. So Xset want to take default, so they're just going to swing that. And they're doing that because they know that they can't play their positions without a Jaeger or a Wamai. So they're just swinging the breaches, hoping that they can trade out. As you see, they did it in a coordinated fashion. It wasn't just one of them swinging the trophy, it was two. So even when he kills one, he just gets traded because his gun has no ammo. And because he doesn't expect there to be a second. And now SQ is in a very winnable 4v3 situation. Gomez can't really jump in here because of the red bed player preventing him. Unfortunate timing for SQ. Oh wait, Spirit just jumps in. How does... Okay, so Spirit jumps in big window, right? But how does he get in? Is it timing? I guess we don't get to see. Okay, so the red bed player is focused on Diaz pushing up an attic, and then the big window player can jump in because of Diaz's distraction. That's a nice play, where Diaz calls that he is focusing on him, and then he's jumped down, and then he just baits so Spirits can pick up the kill. At least I assume that's the play. That could have just been a coincidence, but it looked very purposeful. But anyways, this makes SQ's position significantly worse, where now they're all on the, they've given up sight, and they're all on the game's at armory side. They're playing as if they have diffuser, but I don't know if they do. But it would be very yeah, I'm assuming they have diffuser based on the fact Xset's pushing them. But it doesn't matter because Spirits gets 2 kills. But I'm saying if they didn't have diffuser, Xset would probably just plant in kids without ever pushing the setup. But based on the fact they pushed the setup, presumably diffuser was somewhere like main stairs. Yeah, it's down right here in trophy. But it doesn't matter, because I'm just watching this kill from Spirits again. So he clearly has intel on the 2 players and is just getting callouts, and because of that intel and because he's just a very mechanically skilled player, it's not going to mess up gunfights when he knows exactly where they are. Yogg already in armory. That's an aggressive play, but surely he had a drone. That signals that they're going to do the same kind of take where they split attic games, just the most default way you can attack those gunfight. And one thing I'd like to continue to point out is that Xset is playing very default. They're not playing weird, like, at all. Which, I don't necessarily like that they're playing, like, default and they're doing everything the way that everyone's seen 1,000 times before. But I do like the way that's not just balls to the walls crazy aggression. They clearly, like, have an idea in the round of what they want to do, even if it's like nothing new or anything like that. And I think they played pretty well. I think also Sonics has definitely played poorly in a lot of these rounds, but the last kids attack bringing back that 3v4 was nice. So Kino opening up the wall into attic to apply extra pressure onto the attic shield. Based on the fact he's only opening up with 2, they're probably just going to nade, especially because he has no ADS or anything protecting him from being naded. So if they can just get a nade in through there onto pit, he would be kind of screwed. Gomez applying extra pressure on a pit from outside attic. I assume he doesn't, or attic window. I assume he doesn't want to jump in, and he's likely just gonna try to frag nade that position so that the player playing on the breach could push up. Okay, so Diaz gets a kill on Super. Wait, did I see that right? Yes, Super trying to flank. So, I don't... Like, first of all, I disagree with flanking in this situation because there are only 2 flanks Xsets has to watch. So how incompetent do you think they are that they wouldn't watch that flank? I understand Jaeger, while my band, you don't want to play site, whatever. But still, that flank seems like it wouldn't be the best. And I know Super is actually technically top fragging, but he's Super, you know? Like, this is not his job. I don't get why Super is making the aggressive flank plays for SQ in that round. Because he's Super. I like Super. I don't think he's a bad player. But that's not his job. That's not how he should be playing. He's not a good fragger. At all. And this leaves a 4v1 on site for Kansan to win. And the round is pretty much over at this point. "19 seconds left though, actually. Ooh, unlucky that the C4 nets nothing. And now they're in a really bad situation because he's isolated on red bed and Mute's below, and they know Mute has to go up. He decides to go up main stairs and get solo picked by Gomez. They obviously had a drone on that because no way Xsets not going to have a drone on main stairs. So SQ opt to take their tactical timeout. I'm just going to skip through this because it's pretty boring from the spectator point of view. But Xsets on 4-0, I agree with that. They decide to go back on basement. They bring Yeti plays the holy shit. So Yeti switches onto Goyo, and what they're realizing that Xset is doing is that they're heavily pushing the E-box area. So they put 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of utility onto that. One thing I will say though is that there is no Jaeger. And I know I've said this a lot, but the game is a whole nother thing when there's no Jaeger. Because there's no protection on any of this utility. If there was Jaeger, you just put an ADS next to all this utility, and it's like significantly harder to get. But as it is now, if you just check a Fragnite here, that's a Banshee, that's a... I don't know what we're calling this thing. I'm just going to call it a Goyo. And this thing can presumably be shot from E-box hatch. I don't know exactly what this canister is supposed to do, actually, to be honest. Because I think they just shoot it from E-box hatch as soon as they open it, right? So Xset appear like, oh wait, oh, we're bringing back the Parabellum play. So if you're not familiar, what Spirits did on Parabellum is he would rush into elbow with blitz, and I know that's what he's doing because it's the same player on the same op on the same thing they like to rush. There's nobody who's doing anything else, so he's just gonna rush Super on elbow, and everyone else is gonna go behind him and try to get elbow control quickly. Because if they can get elbow quickly enough, they can lead the rotate up to where they don't have to breach that, and they're gonna never angle into sight as well as the fact that it's just a nice position to be in this early. One thing I will say though is I don't know if blitz is the best way to take that position with the current bans, because I've said this many times, but Jaeger while my ban, so you can just chuck a nade right at the elbow player and you know right where he is, and that's a free kill. So I think running at him with blitz maybe isn't the best way to kill him, yet he gets a free isolated pick on Gomez. Did Gomez not have a drone? I don't know. Either way though, they're just going for a very fast take here. Spirits dies, but they trade him twice over. Where's that nade kill? I've actually seen much less nade kills than I thought. Like, we've seen nade kills, right? But it's not like been a significant increase to an average round. I wonder if that's because the defense is being significantly like careful, or because Xsets maybe not being the best, or maybe it's just like Jaeger and Walmart don't do that much to prevent about actually getting killed from it. It really just protects your util more than actually, because they can just often flashbang and then nade. And you put it on util, not like a random position where a guy might be playing. Maybe. But they do definitely protect people. I don't know. And we have seen night kills, just not as many as I expected. I think I just had an inflated amount that I expected to happen. Anyways, regardless, a minute 10 left, and if I'm being honest, Xsets in a very favorable position because all of SQ is in this one teeny tiny area, and Xset all know that, so they can just pinch all three players. And these players, look how free this is. They're all clustered right here. I don't know what this positioning is, but this is essentially game. And none of their util matters at this point. Canisters, that's late game. Echo drones, that only matters when they try to plant. I think the Banshees could come into effect, but they're placed in like further back, so they don't have anything on long haul. Kino can just pick up and the easiest triple kill he's ever gotten, and now suddenly Sonics are on 05 and they're going the same site again. So SQ switch off the shield, which I agree with, since there's no Jaeger, there's no point in running a shield, since literally you can just break this barricade and gone 6 it. That's not that much utility, and it's gone in like half a second. But I will say that they have been planting a lot in the default plant spot, and Smoke is really good to deny that. So, I don't know. They didn't plant the last round, but in previous rounds they have attempted to plant in the default plant spot. So I don't really know. Oh, neither team had any points at this point. My bad. I was being really bad with my really lazy with the pregame, but neither team had a single point before this game. That's insanely interesting. So, Xset, this is their very first win. This is them proving themselves against the Sonics, the winners of NA. Obviously, they've struggled, but still. And also, I find it surprising that people actually voted in favor of Xset. I kind of expected it to be the other way around, because SQ are the champs, because Xset has never been considered a good team with this roster, or the previous roster. Or sorry, I don't think the current Xset roster is bad, but like to this point, they hadn't won a game yet, right? So it's just like very surprising that our roster that had never won a team is beating the NA champs in polls. I think that might have to do with the fact that people just don't like SQ. They're seen as kind of villains, but still surprising. They're less seen as villains now after doing well in SA. Soft roam from SQ to open up the round. One thing I will say from SQ is I think they should try to, like, they're doing this now, they're contesting the map, but I don't get why they didn't do this from the start, or maybe contest it more heavily. Why not? They probably don't have this in their strat book, but if you plan, they wanted these bans. Why not have a Parabellum roam? Parabellum doesn't play either of these two ops, like, or at least utilize them that well in their crazy roam, because they just play the whole map, and they rely on the, it's like the SSG roam, where you don't really want to drone the whole map, and then just slowly fall back. And that allows you to waste time in a different way than you would normally on the site, because you obviously can't waste time in elbow, so you need to find a different way to subsidize that time waste, so Xset can't just take everything that was for everything they want. That was quite the gunfight, but Spirits wins it out. Kansan's trying to rat in Garage. I don't know if that's the play. I know I just said how they should be being more aggressive in contesting the map like they just did, but at the same time, isn't really what I meant. I meant shooting drones and then falling back, maybe having a really extended setup with utility and reinforcements, but when you're just playing an isolated position, praying that Xset doesn't see you with no fall off, or you're dead if they do drone you, like, Xset hasn't been making mistakes like that, and SQ keeps just assuming or praying that Xset would start making those kind of mistakes, and they never have. And now this leaves Super and Rexon in a nearly hopeless situation, where Xset have all the control there. I think that's... Did Gomez not know he was there? If Gomez knew he was there, that was definitely a bad play. But if Gomez didn't know he was there, why are we not droning? Because we have 50 seconds, and, like, I understand that they're low on drones because they were contesting the map, actually. That actually makes sense. They only have one drone remaining. Never mind. They probably just gave the call of how they were going to push, and they were going to use their bodies to see where they were. Never mind, my bad. I didn't realize how low they were on drones and how well the Sonics contesting the map would do. But that also serves to my other point that Legion should have fallen back, because they have this few drones. They could probably all play rat positions, and they would, and Xset would be none the wiser. But they don't, and it's still a 2v5, so Rexon gets a kill, he gets traded because now they know his position, and Super shoots through the wall, they know where he is, and obviously he can't clutch that up because he's being wall banged from two different areas. That puts Xset on 6-0 and basically ends the game, but obviously I'm going to keep reviewing until the game's officially over, because, I mean, we know. But, you know, you never know. And I review this for more, like, analysis than actually, like, who's going to win the game, because honestly I think it's way more interesting to see why the team won the game, and that's why I'm here. You want to see who wins the game, like, go to CGG. Okay, so actually, wait, I'm going to go back a bit. So, sorry, I just completely missed over something that's kind of interesting. So, Xset are going for a closet extension where they actually make a rotate into closet. But, do they have anyone really playing off this? I don't think they can. I think this extension can be good, but with the current bans, like, they have nothing to protect either of their shields. Usually you'd want to play a shield in closet and peek off that, or something of the sort, but now, like, I feel like if they try to play someone in closet, he's just going to get naded. We'll see, though. So, wait 1 second. I'm going to go back again. So, Xset, I believe they jammed the two walls facing top main, correct? They're reinforced and jammed. Yeah, they're reinforced. Presumably there's a jammer on them. To make sure that these walls can't be breached, this keeps this player safe and makes sure that these head holes can protect the player playing on the shield, and that Diaz can swing so that they can hold a crossfire on any entry into Master. It's a nice setup on paper, but I've said this way too many times, but with the current bans, 1 God 6 gets rid of that shield, and that's a lot of, like, setup and commitment to that strat, where in my opinion it probably won't really work because of the bans. Because it just takes 1 God 6, like, then the shield, the crux of the setup's gone. So you can still take gunfights off the setup after that, but it's really not that strong in my opinion. Okay, so Yaga knows of that position. That's a nice angle onto Armory. Won't net anything. SQ's playing pretty slow on this attack. I don't know what they can do at this point to like bring back momentum. A lot of teams like to rush here because like they think they have nothing to lose, and like that's how you can bring back momentum. But this game is obviously Xset. You get a 6-0 attacking Oregon half. That's crazy. I remember I watched a Dark Zero video and they showed Xset's reaction, and they're like, it was Kino, I believe, and he was like, I'm 14-2. This is Oregon attack. And he had his hands in the air, like, what is even happening? This doesn't happen on Oregon attack. Why am I 14-2? But anyways, So yeah, like I said, SQ seemed to clear into this position without that much trouble, although they are being slow, but I think that's more their stem being somewhat slow. But they're not like in danger of losing the time. I just think they could have cleared that setup quickly because they could have just broke the barricade and then gone 6 the shield like in 10 seconds in the round. But obviously they don't know the setup, they have the drone and stuff, so I'm not really criticizing too harshly. And like I said, they're not really in danger of losing their time. C4 from Spirits. Ooh, and that's the kill onto Finka. They're double pushing up main. Right? Mute's gonna go behind him. Right? I mean, not. Mute does go behind him and trades, and now Mute should. Okay, no, Mute's going balls to the walls. Okay. I really disagree with this play, by the way. I think once you get that kill and you see Yog get a kill, you're in a 4v2. Mute should fall off and push your fight so you can play 4 men on site, and it's a 4v2 and they have to execute with 2 people. But what you're doing by running across here and looking for a gunfight is, yeah, Grixer's going to get that kill, and now you have him at a 2v3, which is still very in your favor from Xset. Like, you're not like mad or anything if you're Xset, but the round is no longer essentially won. You only have a +1 advantage, and it can be kind of hard to trade when you only have a 1-man advantage, rather than when you have twice the man count they have. I don't know what he's doing with the Deagle. Regardless, it doesn't appear to work out. They push in 1 through Breach, 1 through Trophy, but it's a really scuffed take. They only have 20 seconds, no intel, and they're just pushing into crossfires to where they have almost no chance of winning this round. Yeah, the positioning was just really poor because no matter how they push in exactly, one has to push in Trophy, one has to push in Breach. They need to worry about Attic, the Dorm's position he's playing, and Kids, and there's really no way that they can actually make it through. I don't know if they drone Bolo, but they might, or Bolo's the position like right here. I don't know if they drone that or not, but even if they had, it's kind of completely over for them. Good game from Xset. Nice 7-0. Clean attacks. And honestly, I enjoyed watching them play. I didn't think I'd enjoy watching Xset this much. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one.